lilies, welcome back to my channel, SoCal Lily. Today I'm going to share with you one of my all-time favorite hobbies. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I'm going to teach you 5 simple tips when you're making acrylic paintings. So let's get right into it. I'm going to show you some examples of ones I've already done and then get into just like some little details that have really helped me along the way. I've taken a few acrylic painting classes. So I learned a lot and I would just love to share it with you. So let's get started. Alright guys, so these are some paintings that I've done. I really love like the abstract kind of doodle look, very discombobulated. It doesn't really make much sense. But yeah, these are like my favorite kind of pieces that I've done. I've done a lot of other ones as well that I'm like really proud of, but like these ones I'm like excited about because I just love the color vibrancy and it's really just all about technique. So I will show you guys some like little tips I've learned along the way that have really helped me create some like good quality acrylic paintings. Okay, so to start out, I would say tip number 1, which I didn't even learn this really until like I've been painting acrylic since I was really young, probably like maybe 8 or 9 I started painting acrylics, but then I would always go like with my grandma and she would take me to like art classes and like they taught me a lot. And then I also did an acrylic painting art class in college and they said this is like an essential type of piece of material that you need and tool that you need for creating acrylic pieces, and that is a Gray Matters paper palette. So there's a lot of these you can find just at any old art store. It's basically like paper that you can go through and it works as like a palette for your paint. And what I really like about it is like once you add like enough water and everything, you just have like a really good surface that keeps the paint like wet enough to be able to like actually paint something. So what I like to do with this is like it's also like amazing for like mixing different colors of paint. So I've got this like white paint here, and say we want to make like a pink color, I'm gonna take red and white and put it on this and then mix it together. And today I'm not really using like a actual canvas. I'm just gonna use like a board, like it's just like a white poster board paper. But this can actually also be really great for acrylic paint, especially like if you're using, like I've used cardboard before and cardboard has also been really great to use. It just gives like a different look and you kind of can play with like the lights and the darks and like the shadows and everything. But today we're gonna use this little board just as a tester so I can show you guys all my tips. All right, so we're gonna put some white on this gray paper here. That noise, okay. And then we're gonna do some red. This is actually Naphthol Crimson, but looks like kind of red to me, so we're gonna do that. So here we've got the 2 colors, and then my second tip for you guys is if you're ever gonna mix paint, it's super helpful to have, where is it here? A palette tool. And this really helps to just mix the colors together really well because you can use a brush, but it just doesn't get the consistency always correct. And using a palette tool, it like actually just really like blends the colors evenly. And yeah, so I'm gonna add some water here. It's windy today in SoCal. It's such beautiful weather, but it's just super windy, but yeah. So I'm gonna add like, what I like to do is like add some water like this and kind of drop it on here and drop it on the color. And then I'm gonna mix these 2 together. And this just like works. It takes a little bit of time and practice to kind of blend it together. But once you can tell that the colors all just like becomes one color, that's when you know that it's ready. And I would say tip number 3 that I'm going to share is that you really have to make sure you have the right amount of water consistency. if you have too much water, the paint itself comes out very watery, and just like you have to go over it a few times. Like it shows the transparency of like the canvas behind it. So what's a really good amount is just like add a good amount of water. Like you still want it like wet enough, because if it's only paint, then it's gonna be like dry, and it's not gonna be enough like actual paint. So it's hard. It's the water part, the water consistency is a really difficult thing, but right now I would say it's pretty good. I added like 3 to 4 drops of water with the palette tool. And then I kind of like brush it back and forth, because as you can see, there's kind of more like red and white that comes out, which means it hasn't been mixed completely yet. But I think we got a really good pink color here, so I'm just gonna give it a few more brushes. The paint can kind of stay on the outside of the edges of the palette brush, so you got to kind of mix it more. All right, I think this color is like good to use. Okay, so once we've got that ready, I'm gonna add just 1 more drop of water just to keep it wet and like ready to paint, because a lot of times like acrylic, that's what it's known for, is like drying really fast. So it's really important to keep it balanced with like a good amount of water, but you also don't want to add too much. So I think 1 or 2 drops more is good enough. All right, and now I'm gonna grab my brush. So this is another trick I learned actually when I was in school, and I learned some acrylic painting tricks. So we actually learned to use a watercolor brush, but actually with this particular watercolor brush, I forget what it's called, but it's like the shape of a watercolor brush if you're wanting to do, like it's a little bit thicker than like the fine ones. But using this for acrylic can give you a lot of amazing results. So I'm just gonna dip it in a little bit of water and then add it here. And the 5th tip, I'm just gonna talk about how you can really take care of your brushes, because especially when you're using watercolor brushes for acrylic painting, you need to be able to wash them out really quickly, because the typical type of acrylic brush is like these, like they're like very bristly, they're very dry, and these are great for acrylic. But if you want to do like more fine work, like how I've done these like details here, it is nice to use watercolor brushes. But you just have to be able to wash them out and make sure there's no paint left over, so that the brush itself can be a very more like dense, like moist brush, I guess. I don't know what other word to use, because acrylic brushes, it's like they very easily get like dry, which is also nice, but like it's nice to be able to draw like more fine lines. All right, so we're gonna test this out with this watercolor brush using acrylic paint, and I'm trying to think what I want to draw today. I think I'll draw like maybe some more flowers. Like these flowers are pretty cute, so let me just draw some flowers, or paint some flowers. I'm gonna use a little bit more water. All right, we're gonna fill this in. I'm gonna do a couple more flowers. Yeah, this paint's like already drying up a lot, so I need to just keep adding a little bit more water. Cute. I'm gonna just add one more small one up here. flower is a little deformed, but it's okay. All right, so we've got 3 cute flowers, and now I just want to show you guys how the gray palette paper is like so great, because you can actually just mix more colors together and it just works as like a good surface to create different colors. So we're gonna make a green, like brown kind of color, because I want to do the center of the flowers. So I'm actually gonna just add some green here. Honestly, that should be enough. And then we're gonna add like a little bit of orange as well. And then we're gonna take this same palette tool, dip it in more water, and we're gonna blend that pink color with the green and the orange. And I'm hoping it's gonna make like a brown color, but we'll see. Okay, right now it's turning into like a little bit of a darker pink, which is, it's still nice, it's cute. I'm gonna add a little bit more green, I think. And a little bit more of that darker red color. And more water too. Okay, it's not brown, but it's definitely like a darker pink, like almost hot pink color, which I'm happy with. So we're gonna actually do the inside of the flowers, and I might like outline them a little bit with that same brush. This is also where paper towels come in handy as well whenever you're painting, because I'm just gonna brush off that excess pink color and start using this new hot pink color. All right, and now we're gonna outline them. I love acrylic because I feel like if you get the consistency right, it can really look like you just like printed something on a page. So I think it's really awesome. Consistency is not right now. We need to mix it probably more. Let's see here. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it. I'm going to show you like my final and last tip that I kind of somewhat mentioned, but it's basically just making sure that you clean off the brushes. And what I like to do is kind of swish them through the water that I already used, and then I like to use like cold to warm water to wash it out in the sink as well, and kind of going back and forth. But this is an essential step because you probably won't be able to use the brushes again if you have paint still left on them. It can kind of mix in with the paint that you use another time, so it's just really good to wash your brushes after using them. So let's see here. I think that should be pretty much good actually. Yep, you can test it on something else, and if there's any kind of color left in the paintbrush after using it, then make sure that you don't use it anymore and keep washing it. All right, let's get all of that off. All right guys, so that was like a really simple painting that I did, but I just wanted to show you like my main little tips and tricks that you can use next time you're trying acrylic painting for the first time, or if you've done it before. Feel free to DM me and message me if you have any other tips you'd like to share, or if you also share the same love of painting. There's one thing I really want to try is oil. So I've never even tried oil, and I've done art my whole life, but that would be something I want to try in the future. So if you have any cool painting tricks, like let me know. Let me know if you try these and if it works for you, and I will see you guys in my next video.